Hi, this is Dave Bazar, and this is the latest. I'm here with
Conrad,
and we are again back out in our one-year-old block we were in earlier. These trees were planted in early January, I believe.
That is correct.
I think we're very proud of them. You don't have any big complaints with how Lewis is doing it right now?
No, it looks really good.
So today Conrad is going to try to walk us through maybe like a little farming 101 on baby trees as far as just monitoring and a little bit of what to look for, how to look at them, what he expects a good farmer would be doing to see how his trees are growing. So Conrad, tell us what you got there in your hand first.
This is a really good tool, and don't laugh, it's small, but it's really handy for me. I use it a lot because I can dig right where I want to, inspect the tree without disturbing that root system, and I can see what's going on.
And you believe that's important to get in there because of what? I mean, run through a few.
You're going to check to see what kind of environment that rootstock is in, your moisture levels in there, how compacted that ground is. There's a lot of things you can see, and you're not going to see it if you're just trying to look at the tree from the top. You get a little shovel and it'll tell you a lot.
Okay, well, run us through it a little bit of what you're here looking for.
Usually I get down and really come in from the side of the tree.
And I can see that short handle, I mean, it makes you get down in there, which is what you're going to have to, huh?
Right, and if you look at this tree, for example, by looking at the top, you think it's wet, right? Because look, you can see the moss building there. He's running enough water, and it is wet. It's moist. But look at that root system already growing out here.
Yeah. That's
okay, so now you can test. You can come in here and really look at the soil condition of how wet that is. Its moisture's okay, but it's not extremely wet. Of course, we're digging on this side of the tree, but this is where your tree's picking it up. So you can really see what's going on, what kind of environment that root system is in.
And I know earlier when you were talking about it, because again, you've got the sprinkler set on that side. You are particularly looking over here to see, hey, how dry is it over here, huh?
Right.
And how wet is it over there? Because ideally, what do you want it to look like?
You want to have a good balance, all right? If you're wet over there, you want to see that this is a really good sprinkler because you should be able to get about a 4-foot circle.
Yep.
So sometimes this little stake could be in the way, but there's no reason. You should still have water coming around here. But you can really look at this whole section of the tree and see how it's growing, and then you can really inspect what's in there. That looks really clean.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about those roots. So they should be how big by now?
Usually if you look at a tree from the top and say you had 3 or 4 feet of growth, let's say right now you have about 3 feet of growth, your root system should almost be equivalent to that.
Match it.
It really comes out here really fast, faster than you think.
And those roots, if you look closely, they're tiny little hair roots, huh? Little feeder
They're
roots.
little fine, white feeder roots, and those are the ones that develop and just keep moving, and they pick up the nutrients and the moisture from everywhere, keep feeding the tree to the top.
And you could see what they look so sensitive, right? So when we talked earlier about compost or any of those amendments or whatever you were applying, anything, it's got to be delicate.
Absolutely. And this is where you can start deciding, okay, time to put a little fertilizer. Well, once you get about 6 to 8 inches of growth, you have a lot of lift surface up here. Now you can start adding some fertilizer, and you're not going to run into danger of burning this tree up. It'll really take it nice and well.
But until then, little bitty baby.
Little bitty babies, feed them a little bit at a time. Not much.
Let's stand up and walk and just show us what you were seeing on the irrigation system itself. So when you're looking down here, I mean, I know you like how we're farming it here, but what are you a little worried about when you see that?
Well, you know that whatever water you're putting on here, a lot of it's making to the bottom. Well, you got to be careful, because if you're not getting the water penetration there, then you could be doing 2 things. You could be watering too long or under just by putting on so much water. So the way to test is to get in there with a shovel and see how wet it is, especially right before the next irrigation.
And you're seeing this puddle up, so you suspect, oh boy, maybe it's running a little too long.
It's
maybe
eroding.
It's not. I don't know.
Well, there's a couple things. When you see this right here, you know it's eroding to the bottom. You see its scale right there, and then you know there's probably a little lack of water penetration. So we're going to have to deal with that and find out why.
And he may have had to run it long enough to get it in there. And now you got to worry about, I'm saturated too much.
It is
some diseases that are associated with that.
Absolutely. You get into some soils, Dave, that you would not believe. I've seen growers irrigate here for like 12 hours and there'll be water standing up here, and I go test that tree and that tree is bone dry.
So then you start in on, man, are you putting some gypsum on? Are you
Then we
doing
go in
this?
there,
Are you
start
doing
cracking
that?
the soil, get it opened up so
Mhm.
that the water can penetrate in to get the trees established. Once you get the trees out, then you're fine. But getting that initial start.
And I think that was the point I think I'm going to try to leave us on, is that these are baby trees. These are sensitive. These start out with a little root nub like this. So everything is about trying to get that, like you said, 6, 8, 10, 12 inches of growth, which is matched
Right.
with roots. So now, okay, I can take a breathe, a little sigh of relief, huh? A little bit more bulletproof.
Absolutely. Once you start seeing a tree like this break, and what I mean by break, you can watch your leaf spacing, right? Now you're starting to see all these breaks on the leaf on top. That means you're going to get girth here. So this is a really good sign of good health.
So stop right there. So you're talking about all that little side
Yes, sir.
growth is finally, so from here all the way up to here, it was pushing off the terminal bud, and all of a sudden it's breaking.
It's breaking. So
And so-
now you're going to get girth. And you can see how well these trees are doing. When you can take a tip like that and bend it down 6 to 8 inches, these
It's
trees
all
are just
new
never
and just
stopping.
been growing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a sign of good growing.
This tree will tell you a lot. If you watch it and you watch the spacing on these leaves, a lot of times they'll shut down and you can see the leaves become real close together. That means you're missing a watering somewhere along the line. You can really watch it.
Okay, key element was he got in there, he got down on his knees, and I mean that sounds
No,
funny,
it's-
but it's right there to
it's the
find out what's going on.
Absolutely.
That's
the
what
only
makes
way
a
you
good
can do it.
farmer.
Yep.
Okay, this has been Dave and Conrad. Thank you.